Welcome back to the Inner Alchemist TV. In tonight's video, I hope you guys are all off tomorrow. I don't know, I think it's a holiday tomorrow though, right? But in tonight's video, I'm doing a spread on Nell Fletcher. Just for full disclosure, in the last reading, I did that reading twice. I did the reading once, I recorded it, I uploaded it, and then I got a copyright strike. And because I was worried about the health of the channel, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna delete this video and I'm gonna read the cards again. And then that came out the second video, and I just felt like I got mixed reviews on it. Some people felt like it made sense, it resonated. Some people felt like it was totally off the mark. I stand by my cards regardless, but when you look at a spread and you record it, sometimes you go back and look at it and you see different things come out, or you can look at things in different ways. For me, I'm an overthinker, so whether I'm doing a private reading or a reading for the channel, after the reading I always muse over them and I always think about them, you know what I mean? Like, they occupy a great deal of my energy. I don't know, that's just how I am, regardless of what it is, you know what I mean? So I've been thinking about that spread a lot. I think it's accurate. There are some things that I know are accurate. In the first take that I did on the reading, there was like a lot of domestic abuse, quarrels, dispute. And I remember in the reading that, and I don't know, maybe I'll post it unlisted for those of you guys who are just extra nosy like me and want to see. But I felt like even the cheating was like an extension of emotional abuse. The lady was coming in as like a sugar mama, not necessarily a sugar mama, but just a person who took care of everything. She was still coming in as being fearful, having anxiety. And I still think that she does take prescription drugs due to like some type of anxiety issue. I still feel that there's a threat of violence over her, around her, in her space. I still think the guy is cheating. Even as I redid her spread just now with just her, he's still coming in as a person that's cheating. So I don't know, I just kind of felt away. I felt like, well, you know what, maybe I'll read her by herself, because a lot of people felt like I had his energy right but her energy wrong. But I get that a lot in this channel, you know what I mean? Like, some people will say every reading I do on Melody is wrong, but every reading I do on all the other cast members is right. You know what I mean? So I can't really pay attention to that part of it. I just have to stick by the messages that are given to me. And people keep calling this commentary. This is not commentary. These are tarot card readings. I don't watch the show. You guys can accuse me of watching the show till you're blue in the face. I don't watch the show. If I watched the show and I wanted to do commentary, I wouldn't have a problem saying that. I've had channels around YouTube where I've done commentary, and I've had channels where I do tarot card readings. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be ashamed of saying that. But I don't watch the show. I don't even have fucking cable. And I definitely ain't watching these blogger shows. I may look at a title that comes in my feed, but that's more so about the main characters like Melody and Martell. I saw a title about Tisha and Marcel's expo, but I don't even see any of these other couples in my feed. You know what I mean? Unless you guys request the video, then I'll just go in. So I wanted to clear that up. I know people heckle, people troll. I'm not really tripping on it. But in either way it goes, I wanted to read the lady Nell Fletcher by herself. You know what I mean? As if she was a client, which I use different cards. It's totally different than a relationship reading. Relationship readings are totally different. So yeah, so that's my little disclaimer on this Super Bowl evening or 3-day weekend evening, whatever you guys want to call it. So go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We are growing so much and so fast. I'm starting to get stage fright. One thing about me is that I'm super shy. You know what I mean? I know my growth direction is to be able to step out and be that standout, but deep inside of me, I'm very tender-hearted and very shy. Yeah, so whatever though, you know what I mean? And I want to say just one more thing. Huntsville chose me. I did not choose Huntsville. I didn't clout chase. I didn't go watch episodes. It didn't happen like that. I'm sorry. I was literally over here like, I want to do a celebrity relationship tarot channel. And I did a video on Letitia and Marcel, and it's been up ever since. I just happen to like the group of women over here, age-wise, what they stand for, how they think, what they're into. It's just an alignment with where I'm at in my life. You know what I mean? The messages I give, like as far as like life stories and lessons, I've carried that through many of my YouTube channels. I've had a channel where I did tarot for a few years. Then I switched over to a black community for a few years. And I've carried my same messages of healing and overcoming and pretty much game for good women. I've carried those things. These stories, a lot of them have been told before. You know, and I'm just touching different communities of women until we're all liberated. You know what I mean? Until we're all getting those monkeys off our backs. And I heal through tarot. That's who I am. It's not no secrets. It's not no mystery. You know what I mean? If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's for you, then kick back and enjoy the show. You know what I mean? And it's okay to admit that you love me. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be the ops. You don't have to be the ops. It doesn't make you cool. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Being nice is cool too, right? So yeah, that's my spiel. I'm not gonna say it again. I just want to take a few minutes to do that. And then let's talk about Nell Fletcher. Let's talk about it. So Nell, it came up as the Empress in the last spread. She's coming up as the Empress again in this spread, but this time it's in reverse. Now, to be honest with you, her Empress in the last spread was surrounded by the Devil card and I think the Eight of Wands. So this Empress in reverse, to me, is kind of like similar in meaning as the Empress with the Devil. You know what I mean? However, this Empress is very much into full disclosure, and this Empress is also showing up in her subconscious mind. So I show that Nell Fletcher, she does have some secrets, but she has been thinking for a while about coming out and living her truth, or living in her truth. Now, what she's doing right now with the Seven of Swords in reverse is she's trying to read the room and she's trying to plan things accordingly, but she knows deep inside that she's going to have to come out and talk about some things. Now, right now, there could be a rift. You guys told me about some rift between her and her husband's daughter. Now, that's represented. The Knight of Swords was in the last video, and the Knight of Swords is also in this video. This represents like harshness and cruelty and some type of like I feel like there's some type of exchange or some type of tension in this relationship. It could be jealous tension, but it's also, the Knight of Swords is a mad energy. The Knight of Swords is not happy in those conversations. They are riddled with tension. They are riddled with a sense of bitterness. So whatever relationship is going on between this mother and child, and I'll call it a mother and child because the Empress is in reverse, but even with the reverse, that is kind of echoing to me stepchild, because maybe it's not a child that she gave birth to. Either way it goes, it is showing with the Knight of Swords and this Empress in reverse that the child is very angry. Period, point blank. However, it is clarified by this Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups to me is a more softening energy, and it represents a feeling of vulnerability and almost like emotional support or nourishment. And so with the Seven of Swords and with the Knight of Swords, I feel, and even with this Empress, I feel like it is possible that Nell Fletcher has withheld some of her nourishing energy and even some of her abundance from this child, which created that sense of anger. Like maybe she didn't share the money, or she didn't buy this child gifts, or she treated this child like a stepchild or like street booty or something like that. You know what I mean? Or the child could have simply felt like that because she was an outsider. I remember growing up, my mom was not there for me. You know, and I grew up with my aunties and my grandmother, and they used to, you know, they bought me things. Don't get me wrong. I was not deprived, quote unquote, but when it was time to be tucked into bed and get those good night kisses and have people show up at your events, my cousin's parents were there, but mine's were not. And it did give me like this sense of internal loneliness and even maybe some bitterness and resentment, not towards anyone, but just towards what I was lacking or did not have. You know what I mean? So as I grew older, I kind of even recognized in myself, like I get really triggered. Like if the person that I'm with is sharing energy, time, money, gifts, sex, cheating on me, that shit triggers me in a different type of way than it does normal women. Like it's not about the act of the man, it's about what he's taken from me, or what he feels like I'm not entitled to the best of everything or all of everything. You know what I mean? And I know that that stems from having to share everything as the oldest child, and then having to miss out on things. I don't like people that are close to me and assigned to give to me. I don't like them giving to others. And if you with me, you assigned to give to me all of it. You know what I mean? So I have that or had that feeling. Now it incenses me, so I can understand this Knight of Swords attitude, because it drives in me a harshness, a cruelty, a feeling of let me cut you off, and I will pull out my swords and I will put down my cups. You know what I mean? Now I say that to say, when I look at what this dynamic is in these cards between the Nell Fletcher and the daughter, or whoever that is, I feel like it's because of a lack of nourishment. I feel like she didn't nurture that child, or didn't come close to that child, but she may have done it with somebody else, and it built up some type of bitterness, anger, and resentment in that child. But deep inside, with this Ace of Cups, I feel like that child loves her, and I feel like she loves that child. You know what I mean? I feel like in a way that there's something about them that have each other's heart, captured each other's heart, but there is some type of blockage that keeps them apart from each other. Now, is there another person in the middle that's driving a wedge between their relationship, or fueling this sense of beef between them? It's possible. But for the most part, there seems to be a disconnect, but it seems to be of the mind. With the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, this disconnect is mental. So some type of thought, some type of negative thought pattern or perception of what's going on has entered and jaded both of them in their attitude towards each other. So does Nell Fletcher have some responsibility or some part? Yeah, because with this Empress card in reverse, she has withheld her love and nourishing. But at the same time, with this Knight of Swords and the Seven of Swords in reverse, the child, or whoever his daughter is, may misinterpret or may have misunderstood the signs. Like I said, the Seven of Swords in reverse is about reading the room. And I don't think she read the room correctly, so she could be jumping to conclusions about things as well. You know what I mean? Especially now that you guys tell me that this knight did represent one of the children. Which I knew it did, because it was the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. Those two corroborate to make it a child. You know what I mean? So I knew it was something. Right? So that's pretty much the basis of the tension between them. And I see that is something that's on her, Nell Fletcher's, mind. It is. I feel like it's on her to-do list of things that she wishes she could fix. But I don't feel like it's something that she's in a rush to get to now. With this Knight of Coins, I feel like there's a part of her that feels like I'll get to it when I can. If I can. You know what I mean? If it works out that I can make up to you, then I will. But if not, it's just not on her priority list. You know, the Knight of Coins, he moves slow. And this is in a recent past. And I feel like this is an energy towards resolution. And I feel like she may just not have time for that, or she just may not think of that as a high priority of hers. And maybe that even helps even more to anger this person. Now, the Knight of Coins is in a recent past, but what's in her mind right now is her money. Nine of Coins, that's like you being the person with the bag, especially with the Empress. And I feel like that's why I was getting provider energy from her in the last spread. But this also tells me of a desire. I don't know. I feel like there's a desire for her. Or if she doesn't have a desire to be single, she feels single. She feels single within her. She feels like she's on an island by herself. It could be a lonely at the top type of feeling. But I feel like her self-care, she has to do it. I feel like she has to do a lot of things to care for herself. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you could be married, but you could be single. But I remember when I seen that Six of Wands in the last spread, I said, this dude, this relationship for her, it is a trophy. It's a status symbol. So her relationship is coming in as maybe, or in that last spread, was coming in as a status symbol. It was not coming in as something that was feeding her or fueling her. This spread right here is about a lack of nourishment. And it could be on all sides and trickling down to the kids. But she's not being nourished by her relationship. She's having to nourish herself. And I show that she's inwardly lonely because of that. Is the money right? It looks like the money is right with the Nine of Pentacles. But the Nine of Pentacles is a person that moves on their own. And then he's coming in this spread as the King of Cups in reverse, as well as the King of Swords in reverse. She's afraid of him. Now, when I say afraid, I don't want you guys to think that somebody's trembling. But again, just like the last spread, this spread in her hopes and fears with this King of Swords is showing that she's afraid of some type of cruelty or being dismissed or some type of verbal abuse or some type of sharp words or criticism that is being used towards her. Now, I don't know if he's doing this to rebel against her because she has the juice, because she has her finances together. But with this Empress in reverse, I wouldn't doubt that she was controlling things as well. I just wouldn't. Now, I remember in the last spread also, I kept seeing cards of imprisonment. My first instinct with that imprisonment, with those 9 of Wands and that 8 of Wands, and then it was clarified later by the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, which is clearly jail or a hospital. But I also felt the imprisonment was coming from holding the guy in place because of his actions previously. That's what came out when I did the first take on the reading. Right? But then when I looked at the spread again, I kept seeing all those knights and pages, and I'm like, okay, these look like children. So it could be children in jail. But otherwise, I also felt like she kept a jail around this man to restrict his movements in some type of way. And I felt like he was lashing out angrily at her. And I felt like that's why a lot of the cheating was motivated, because it was a sense of undermining and an extension of emotional abuse because of the leash or reins or control she was trying to hold on him. You know how you have a man and he fucks up and you're not able to forgive that, but you stay with him and you think you can control him, which you can't. You know what I mean? I refuse personally to live my life like that. That's why I don't deal with cheaters, because I'm not finna monitor you. I'm not finna love you in a different way. I'm not finna keep you on no leash. I don't have time for that. And that's not my idea of love or my idea of a good time with a man. That's not entertaining to me. But for some women, because they can't leave, they feel like they have some control and safety and monitoring and controlling the man's movements, not knowing that a nigga's gonna do what the fuck they want to do when they want to do it. They're sneaky as fuck. Ain't nothing you can do about it other than get the fuck on. You know what I mean? But I was feeling like that imprisonment, and even with the 9 of Wands, I was feeling her being paranoid or having to look over her shoulder over this man's actions. And I was seeing the abuse initially as him lashing out on her because of his restriction of movement and because of her trying to control him. You know what I mean? Now that's what I was showing, but at the same time, I was showing her being riddled with some type of anxiety. I showed her being in fear and being like terrorized by somebody. At first, I was assuming it was him. I'm not going to lie. But like I said, when I redid the spread and I recognized the knights and pages, I was like, those feel like children to me. Now, I feel like they might do a vow renewal in the future. I don't know if this is going to be something that's highlighted on the show or not. But with this Ace of Cups and a 4 of Wands in the near future, I feel like they're going to do a vow renewal. Now, with the King of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups here with this Knight of Swords, I feel like this vow renewal might be a manipulation on the part of the man. The Knight of Cups is about a proposal next to this 4 of Wands. I feel like there's a proposal of marriage. But with the King of Cups in reverse, this is not somebody that's really trying to do that. This is somebody that's doing that for, I don't want to say personal gain per se. I want to say that they're doing it maybe like to make up for something, or because they feel bad about something, because there is still another woman in the picture to this minute. Somebody asked me, was he having an affair now, even now, with the Queen of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse? Yeah, I would say that he was having an affair right now to this minute, and I think that's why she has this Nine of Coins, leading her to that sense of loneliness and isolation, or feeling like she has to care for herself, or feeling like she has to do something by herself, because I feel like he spends time away from home. I showed that in the last spread, but I felt like a lot of that was shrouded by work. Like, oh, I have to work, but within work he was getting in a lot of shit. And I feel like he has another woman, but I feel like he feels like bad about this. I don't feel like this is something that he feels like good about, or if he's confronted, because this is a near future position. Not the wands, but this vow renewal or this proposal. This hasn't happened yet, but I almost feel like he's proposing to make up for or cover up for the fact that he is having an affair again or cheating again. And I feel like with the King of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups, I feel like he's manipulating love. He's manipulating feelings in order to cover up his sorrow, or the fact that he feels sorry for the fact that he fucked up again, because you guys told me that he was already cheating. I saw the cheating in the last spread though. You know what I mean? I saw it as more than cheating. I saw it as you being in a full-blown relationship. The Lover's card was there. You know what I mean? So there's some lengths that he may be taking to fix this or something like that. You're coming up with both the King of Cups and the King of Swords in reverse. This is somebody that does mean things like that. Ask you to marry them to make up for the fact that they're cheating on you. Like, what the fuck? Won't give you freedom. Won't give you peace. Won't answer you directly. Won't probably look you in the eye. Probably can't face you. Because even though she has the leash tight on him, he's still, and the Three of Cups is here, he still managed to get around. Or it could be a person this Queen of Wands could also be a person that has never left the picture. Now with the Three of Cups though, with the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups and this Knight of Cups, I feel like this wedding or this proposal was going to make the lady Nell Fletcher very happy. But I don't feel like she's worried about it being real. I feel like she's more concerned with having that, like I said, that status symbol, that trophy. You know what I mean? I don't think that she's really concerned that much with the truth of his actions. Maybe she doesn't even want to have sex with him, or maybe she doesn't even want to fulfill wifely duties with him like that. When I look at this Empress card in reverse, I also feel like, like, I don't know, like behind the scenes, I feel like she might be letting herself go. And I saw that in the last spread too. You know what I mean? But that could be, like I said, I feel like she does take like some type of calming pills, Valium, some type of anti-anxiety. And I feel like there's part of her that's not really on the ball or on her game when she's in that mode. You know what I mean? Now we do have the Strength card and the Judgment. So this sometimes can be about a renewal. With the Judgment and the Four of Cups, again, it's kind of giving me a vow renewal. The Temperance card, I feel like that's putting that spiritual tinge on it. The Temperance card is the Alchemist. That's about changing energy. It's about divine intervention. It's about healing. It's about balancing things out. You know what I mean? So again, I feel like the vow renewal may balance out her emotions or her energy about something, or, balance out, like I said, the fact that he's betraying her again. You know what I mean? With the Strength card and the Temperance, I feel like either she needs to be more delicate, or there's like a delicate, I feel like there's something that she's taking a slight hand with or being delicate about. Maybe she's trying to keep him in a way with this Strength card. I feel like she's changed her energy. If she was a person who was maybe like bossy or more, even with this Empress card in the verse, you could be bossy or overbearing. I feel like she's cooling down a little bit on that and getting like into her feminine energy, where she's trying to maybe try like a different approach, a gentler hand. But I feel like that's because she realized something. Maybe even she talked to a pastor or some type of female spiritual leader or something like that. And I feel like they told her that she needs to be more accommodating to her man, or, like I said, delicate, patient, stop moving alone, stop being so independent, be more inclusive. You know, so I feel like she's, with this Judgment card, I almost feel like she like tried to change, or she's trying to change, feeling like maybe she's playing a part in why he's cheating on her. But it ain't that. It's just that I feel like he never stopped in a way. If he did stop, I don't know. I feel like he parked it or he put somebody on the shelf, but this person seems to be lingering and they're from the past. You know what I mean? But I think that it's I don't feel like the cheating is sex related. I feel like it's again, I still feel like it's an extension of some type of emotional abuse, especially with the King of Cups and the King of Swords in reverse and the Three of Swords. I feel like it's an extension of his rebellion against her holding the reins on him so tight. It's almost like it's almost like he uses the cheating to prove to himself that she does not have control over him. You know what I mean? The cheating is there was some spontaneous cheating, like one night stands in the last spread, but in this spread, I feel like it's like planned. You know what I mean? I feel like he, like, in a way, like he's full on aware of what he's doing. It's not like a drunken night out with the guys. It's like he's intentionally doing this. He's intentionally doing this because he's mean, or I don't know. He does not care. He's cruel. He's a cruel person. But then at the same time, you got this love bomb energy with this Knight of Cups and this Four of Cups and this Judgment and this Temperance and this is like, and this Three of Cups. It's like, you know, he does these one-off sweet things and these offers and these proposals of love and, you know, romance, but they never stick. He's only good at being romantic sometimes, but when it's time to have his permanent stick around energy, he's in the King of Swords and the King of Cups in reverse. His normal mode is bitter. His normal mode is mean. His normal mode is cheating. But then every now and again, he brings you flowers or asks you to marry him again and renew the vows again. This Judgment card and this Four of Wands is giving me vow renewal for some reason. And a party and a celebration, maybe they're going to do that on the show. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's something that they're planning. But again, he's doing it so manipulatively because he's covering up for his actions. But I definitely show that to be in the quote-unquote plans per se. You know what I mean? I definitely show that that's something in the plans. You know? I feel like he's doing it to overcome, you know, some of the things that he's done in the past. Like I said, to make it up to her, it's really not no other way for me to put it. You know what I mean? So that's something that we might see play out on the show. You know, there's definitely some type of celebration with the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. And like I said, with this Judgment, I strongly believe he asked her to marry him again. But it's just not for the right reasons, because I still don't feel like he's helping her. She just is alone in her mind and her feelings and her emotions. She's lonely. You know what I mean? Or she's left to do it by herself with this Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins is a single woman card. Why are you coming in as a single woman and the Empress in reverse, and then he's coming in as the Knight of Cups with all these Kings in reverse? You know what I mean? There's total mismatch of energy. Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there. Like I said, I wanted to do her by herself because I felt like a lot of people felt like his energy was right, her energy was off. I mean, not that you guys can even decide, especially going off the show. You know what I mean? The tarot cards are showing you what you can't see, right? But yeah, that's what I got for her on her own. If she came to me as a client and asked for a reading, this is what I would have given her. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think of Nell Fletcher's reading all by herself. Let me know if it resonates. Let me know what your commentary is, your thoughts, your opinions. I'm so grateful that you guys are so vocal. Don't forget to like this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure that you have those notification bells on. We're going to be rocking all week long. Next up is Kimmy and Maurice. We might get between the sheets with those two. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next one.